Hi there, everybody. Tom Funk here with another web tutorial. Today, I will talk about where you can hike during hunting season. So, let's start with hunting seasons in the state of Michigan. And we are on the Department of Natural Resources webpage, hunting season calendar. And you'll notice the very first statement there is an open hunting season at all times on public and private land from August 1st through March 31st every year. Hunters could be encountered in the woods on public lands during these months. Very important to note. I think a lot of people, especially if they're new to hiking and have never hunted and fished before, like myself, don't realize that we have a very long hunting season. The one season that most people are concerned about, though, is regular firearm deer season, where literally hundreds of thousands of hunters enter the woods in search of deer. And that takes place November 15th through the 30th every year. However, we do have other firearm deer seasons in Michigan. We have a muzzleloading season, which is essentially a one shot shotgun that you use. And then we have a late antlerless firearm season, which is private land. So basically, a firearm deer season is taking place November 15th through January the 1st. We also have an archery season that is rather popular, and that is October 1st to November 14th and December 1st to January 1st. Of course, it's always a good idea to wear orange when you're out hiking during hunting seasons. And hunting season is August 1st to March 31st. But you'll probably notice a lot of people don't start wearing their orange until October. But it's just a good idea to do it. Get yourself an orange hat and wear it. It may not be stylish, but at least somebody's going to be able to see you when you're walking through the woods. And you can see all the other seasons on here. I'll let you find this website, and I'll put links somewhere in here as well so you can find these easily. A very popular place for hunting in the state of Michigan are state wildlife and game areas. These are set up just for hunters. The excise taxes paid on firearms and ammunition goes towards a fund that pays for the management of these lands, the purchase of these lands. So a lot of your national forest, state game areas are paid for by these excise taxes paid by hunters. And each state game area has a map. And you can scroll down, you can see there's quite a few state game areas, and they all have maps. And these maps are quite accurate. The thing is they got a low level of detail on these maps. So what you need if you're going to be out exploring, especially off trail in areas that aren't explored very much by hikers, get your hands on a good atlas. And I recommend the All Outdoors Atlas and Field Guides. These are awesome. They have very accurate representations and better detail than the DNR maps for where public lands are. It also shows you campgrounds, hiking trails, all kinds of stuff. These are awesome. Now, the thing is, you're going to need one for northern Michigan and one for southern Michigan. One is for, you can see the upper peninsula and the northern lower, and the other map is for the southern lower peninsula. So get your hands on this atlas. I'm probably on my third or fourth copy of each. And you can actually download this as well. You can buy it and download it. So make sure you get your hands on a good atlas. Okay, so going back, we got exploring game areas. Uh, we have national forests and we have state forests. Now, in the My Hunt app, you should be able to see these lands in the My app if it's working. If not, here's a workaround. You have these databases that show you where public land is. So if you go in here, you can find these databases. So I'm going to click on maps, and here you go, map finder. There is an interactive map here, interactive visitor map, and this is pretty cool. You open this up, and you can get down into fine detail as well on these. So I'm going to scroll into Michigan, and this will start opening up. So let's go kind of over to Pictured Rocks. Now, Pictured Rocks is a national lakeshore. It's part of the National Park Service. We'll talk a little bit about hunting over there in a little bit. But here you go. You can see the lighter green, the darker green. The darker green shows federal land, and you can scroll right in. So if you have a decent gazetteer, you should be able to find your way around. A cool tip is that a lot of lakes in these national forests uh, are private land around them. So for some reason, the national forest system, you'll see a lot of these lakes, they're private. So keep that in mind when you're hiking. You come across a lake, you could be on private land. So this is a very good guide to finding where the national forest lands are. Then again, use that gazetteer to figure out exactly where you are on the landscape and find yourself not trespassing. So another one that is very useful. This is the Google list, Michigan State Forest compartments, and this is basically a map of state forest lands. And this also is in pretty good detail when you get onto the um, uh, website. And let's go to, let's say, Tequamanon State Park. You see there's a lot of state park around here. Hunting is allowed in state parks. In a state park, about the only place that you won't find hunting is right around the campgrounds and probably some busier areas. But for the most part, state parks are open for hunting. So you can see that you can see these compartments, and using that gazetteer, looking at the roads, you can kind of tell where you are. So this is all public land open to hunting, and these are state forests. So we've seen game areas, we've seen national forests, we've seen state forests, we've seen game areas, all open to hunting. So these national parks, Sleeping Bear Dunes is one, and uh, Pictured Rocks is the other. Hunting is allowed in Sleeping Bear Dunes. They follow all of Michigan's laws. So when you have something open for hunting, it's going to be available for hunting in Sleeping Bear Dunes. Same is true of Pictured Rocks, except they don't allow hunting until after Labor Day because it is a pretty popular park. So hunting is not permitted within the lakeshore from April 1st to Labor Day. But after that, you have bear hunting, you have deer hunting, fishing, and all that. So keep that in mind. These national parks are also open to hunting. So one more that a lot of people aren't familiar with, and this is called commercial forest land. What is that? Well, commercial forest land is basically private land, and private landowners have put them into an easement with the state of Michigan. With basically, they're saying we're going to manage these for forestry products, but we're going to allow these to be open for public recreational use, hunting, fishing, hiking, and the like. And let's see if the website's going to work. Here we go. And this is a map of all of your commercial forest lands. Now, an important note, and you'll see this in the document, Where Can I Camp, which is a document in the our page, is I talk about commercial forest lands. And you cannot camp on these. You can hike, you can fish, hunt, you can have a picnic, but you cannot spend the night on these. These are private lands. And you'll see that all this yellow, these are properties in the commercial forest program. And if you ever wondered why there's hardly any public land in the Keweenaw, well, it's a lot of it's open to the public, it's just not publicly owned. So in the Keweenaw, a lot of this is open for recreational use. It's just that you can't camp on it. And hunting is allowed on commercial forest lands, and you can see there's quite a bit of it in the Upper Peninsula and not so much in the Lower Peninsula. There's a few parcels here and there. So if you're going to be exploring in the UP, keep that in mind. A lot of this land is in commercial forest easements and open to the public. So if you take the commercial forest land, the state forests, the state parks, the national parks, national forests, pretty much the entire Upper Peninsula, it's open to hunting. The only real exception to no hunting or in Michigan is on private land conservancies. Some allow hunting, some do not allow hunting. So with the hunting seasons, there's actually some of these are open to hunting. The best thing to do with that is there is actually a database on here that shows what's open to what private lands are open to hunting through a hunting access program the state has, but it's just easier to go on to the Land Conservancy's website or call them and say, hey, is hunting allowed on this property? And if they say no, still wear your orange because not everybody gets the memo that this property may be open for hunting. All right, so there you go. A brief tutorial on where you can hike. You can hike anywhere during hunting seasons. Please wear orange. Please be mindful of hunters. Keep in mind that the hunters have pretty much paid for most of these lands. Be respectful of their activity. We are all in the same group. We just enjoy the outdoors differently. And just keep that in mind. And hunting season, of course, goes through March 31st. But after January 1st, it's mostly small game and like squirrels and rabbits and things like that. So there you go. More web tutorials on my YouTube page, Tom Funk's Worldly Adventures, where you can learn like how to use the North Country Trail website Trail Planner. So if you have any other ideas for web tutorials, post something in the comments. Let me know, and I'll try to make one for you. So thank you very much for following along today. Tom Funk here with a web tutorial on where I can hunt in Michigan. Thanks a lot, you guys.